that which happens in the future seems to us in many cases to be very random. Oh, I never imagined this would happen. Oh, I never imagined that would happen. Oh, what a surprise. But the issue is that what we're doing is actually creating that future. The example we always give is if I plant an apple seed, I'm going to have an apple tree. I have an apple tree today, I say, oh, wow, what a surprise. But actually, if I had been watching all along and able to see all along, I would have been able to see myself planting the apple seed. In our dreams, typically, if our minds are not too busy fulfilling unfulfilled desires that didn't get fulfilled during the day, therefore I'm fulfilling them in my dreams. In my dreams, I'm a billionaire. In my dreams, I have 30 wives. In my dreams, right? So if I'm not too much of a slave to those sorts of desires, that my mind has to now fulfill them in my dreams because they're not being fulfilled in my life, then the minute that the mind becomes quiet, we're able to see things that we're not able to see normally. It's not about traveling, it's about becoming free. Why can't most of us see most things most of the time? It's not that they're not before us. It's because our minds are so busy being in the past, being in the future, being with our fears, being with our desires, being with our expectations, that we're not in the present. We're not able to see the fact that here I am digging a hole, planting a seed, putting dirt on it, watering it. So we're surprised when a tree blossoms the next day. In the dream state, if we're able to be free, and this does come from spirituality, of course, if we're able to be free from the mind just fulfilling dreams and desires that didn't get fulfilled during the day, then there's actually a state of quietness where we're able to see things. And that's why they talk about writing down your dreams, because frequently there's a clarity there that we don't have during the rest of the day. So what I would say to you is that what's happening is, in your dreams, you're able to see the fact that you're planting an apple seed, and therefore it becomes very clear to you that there's going to be an apple tree in your future. It's not so much that you've traveled into the future and you've had darshan of this tree, now you've come back and said, wow, there's a tree. But there's a clarity of where you are and what you're doing and what's happening that enables you to understand there will be a tree in the future. The other piece of this is on an even deeper level, which is that says that time is actually not happening on the continuum that we think about it. We think about time as being very linear. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. But what our sages and rishis and saints have told us for thousands of years is what quantum physicists are telling us today. That time actually bends, that it's actually a spectrum. The field of quantum physics is phenomenal. I'm far from an expert on it, so I'm not even going to go into too much of it. But what I can tell you is that they're saying the same thing that the rishis and the sages said thousands of years ago, which is all of time is actually more like a tapestry but a multi-dimensional tapestry than like a line through space. We think it's like a line through space because that's all we can see. Our eyes are limited. But that doesn't mean that that's how the world is. And so a lot of enlightened people are able to see what we would call the future. Not because they've traveled into a point farther down the highway, saw it, and then came back, but because they have access to the entire tapestry. We're looking at the world through the equivalent of the tube of a roll of paper towels, or the tube that toilet paper comes in, that all we can see is like this. But that doesn't mean that what's out here isn't just as real. It's just that we can't see it. And so every once in a while, sometimes in a dream, sometimes in meditation, or for the saints in that state of enlightenment, we have a glimpse of the full tapestry. And so we're able to see. It's not so much what I saw came true, as I was seeing that which already exists. My vision got broader for a moment. Actually get them fulfilled in our dreams. It's very, very kind, actually. The universe has been very kind to us, that we should not suffer both waking and sleeping. So it gives it to us in the dream state. But the other thing comes in when we're not so full of desires, when there's not so much at the end of the day that we'd been wanting that we didn't get, that now we have to waste our sleeping time fulfilling it. When that happens, then a state of quietness tends to come in our sleep. And when that comes, is when these sorts of dreams come. That's when the dreams come that seem to be prophecies, but that aren't actually prophecies. They're just getting us in touch with our intuition. They're getting us in touch with our awareness. They're allowing us to see. We've given our minds a break from having to constantly create dramas that fulfill our desires. And they're able to actually just show us what is. So yes, that's exactly what happens in situations like that, is the voices, whether in an auditory sense or in a visual sense in the dream, have quieted down. And that which is the wisdom, the intelligence, the reality, the intuition, whatever we call it, is now manifest there for us.